So you have to drive engagement. The more you involve your audience in the experience, and the more impact you will have. This is actually the kind of the secret sauce of live shopping. It's about engaging with the audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terrence Fox, Head of Innovation and Sales at iAdvize, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar, all about live shopping and how, of course, you can achieve a 20 to 26% conversion rate with live shopping. Now, what is live shopping by definition? It's one-to-many video encouraging an interactive and immersive experience with all of your website visitors to, of course, stimulate conversion, sales, and engagement. Live shopping as well, just so you're aware, has grown 280% year over year in China and is projected to reach 35 billion and account for 3.3% of all e-commerce sales in the US by 2024. So the wave is here. It's my absolute pleasure to be joined by my old friend, Sylvain Bailly. He is the head of customer success here at iAdvize. And importantly, he has plenty of years experience in the e-commerce space. So Sylvain will share an interesting perspective coming from Fullbeauty brands, Ashley Stewart, and of course, having that knowledge and background on why live shopping will be so important to tackle for many retailers moving forward. Sylvain, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, Terrence. Thank you for having
Great
me.
to have you here. Hopefully I flattered you enough. I can see that you're blushing.
Of
So a
course.
pleasure as always. So Sylvain, did I miss anything from the definition of what live shopping is that you think is important to stress? Of course, this is, again, a little bit ahead of the curve. It's very innovative, but what else do you think people should be aware of, if anything?
Yeah. As you mentioned, I've been in e-commerce for more than 10 years, and many brands, and I was one of those e-com directors doing it. We've been offering the same e-commerce experience for the last 20 years for customers to buy online. So in most cases, it's a basic product page with description and images that are not always accurate, by the way. And today's customers, they want more information. They need independent expertise. They want to see the product in action. They want to interact with people and experts and other customers before buying. And a
Mm.
lot of that today, a lot of those customers actually go on social media like YouTube, Instagram to see influencers or independent experts' videos before buying a product. So basically, the question now is how do you create that interactive and immersive experience on your website to meet today's consumers' expectations? And basically showing that product in a more interactive way, getting customers' questions answered right away, etc.
Mm.
Similar to what you would have in a store. How do you do that on your website? And this is exactly what live shopping is.
And I can imagine with the explosive growth e-commerce has had with the pandemic, and for every brand and retailer that has high touch retail items, this is a great immersive way a way to encourage that sort of touch and feel that consumers want in store, maybe that they weren't able to have recently. But naturally, too, I'm sure Gen Z and millennials are super appreciative of this new channel.
Yes,
So
definitely.
I don't want to steal any more of your time or thunder. I know you've got a lot you want to cover. Let's start to dive into how to achieve a 20% conversion rate with live shopping, and of course, what this could mean for retailers and brands moving forward.
All right, let's get started. So I'll be sharing a lot of best practices so our audience will understand better what live shopping is about, how should you set up a live shopping session. And of course, if the audience want to ask questions, we'll be here to answer. So feel free to ask questions on the chat. One stat, 88% of 18 to 34 years old say they're interested in shop entertainment. Shop, shoppertainment. Which is a fun shopping experience. And this is from Forrester. Um, so basically, you have to bring that product to life. A simple like catalog presentation just is not good enough. It won't cut it. So you need that immersive, interactive sales experience via a live video on your brand website or on a retailer website. So you have to show the product, and you also have to make sure that the host is interacting with the viewers, and the viewers can comment, can ask questions, and most importantly, buy via the live video. And people know a lot about the live shopping, but what's also important is what happens before and after. So the before is the pre-live. The main goal is how do you attract the largest audience and reach out to them on event day, on the day of the event. During the live shopping, it's all about boosting the add to cart, and then the replay is really about optimizing conversions. And by the way, 30% of revenue is actually happening during a replay session. That's what we see with our clients.
Sylvain, if I can ask and have you pause here for just a second. So obviously, everyone's familiar with QVC or Home Shopping Network and live shopping as it originated years ago. And then, of course, recently brands have started to deploy Facebook Live or Twitch or other areas to stream sort of live shopping events. What are the biggest benefits, naturally, to someone who's looking at live shopping for their own website versus those alternatives?
So it's going back to the reason why brands are going after direct to consumer strategy. So there are three main reasons. Number one, it's about controlling the data. So you're going to be able to get the phone number of that customer, for example, and you can reuse it later on. So you want to own the data, customer data. The second one is about being more efficient in terms of margin, because if you do it with third-party platforms, they usually you usually have to pay a commission on the sales if they offer the ability to convert and to buy via that live session. And the conversion rates are usually going to be much higher on your own website, because if the customer has to go back to your site, when customers are on social media, they're loyal to Instagram, they're loyal to TikTok. They're not going to become some of them might not even go to your website to buy. So, and then the third one is about making sure you control the experience and the look and feel. If you have an event on your site, that can happen. If it's happening on Facebook or Instagram, it's harder to really control the look and feel and make sure it's good with your branding.
Great. Yeah. And of course, again, we'll have the opportunity to ask questions towards the end of the session, but I did want to try and trip Sylvain up where I could if possible. But good answers. Keep going.
All right. So let's talk about before the live. So how do you attract the largest audience and reach out to them on event day? So the first tip I want to give to our audience is that you have to announce the event, and you should do it at least 7 days before it is set to go live. And you need to make sure you pick a video format that is the most attractive to communicate. So that means, and then what you have to put in that video, so it's like a teasing video that you prepare that will last maybe 30 seconds, where you talk about the topic of the live event, when it's going to happen, date and time, and what is live shopping, because a lot of end customers don't even know what live shopping is. So that teasing video will help them. And then you can use your CRM database, or you can use your marketing team to start communicating on social networks about the event, and also ask maybe the community of influencers that you will leverage in the event to talk about it. And that will help get how a maximum number of customers or viewers for your live shopping event.
Have you had any? Have you seen or witnessed, of course, any very impactful influencers in the live shopping space?
Yeah, I mean, typically, if it's a celebrity or someone who is very well known, for example, let's say Jaclyn Hill is a very famous beauty influencer, that will make sure you get a lot of traffic from her fan base. But sometimes it can be just an independent expert, might not be a celebrity, but it's someone that's not from your brand. And customers like that, because a lot of customers nowadays are just not really trusting brands. They're sick of advertising and branding. So they want to know from a friend or someone who looks like a friend. So someone independent is always a good idea.
You brought up a good point too, tapping into their following, right, with your stream and on your event, right? That'll help, of course, amplify the SMS, the email campaigns to drive registration as well. I think that's a great suggestion.
All right. So tip number 2 for the before is to choose a date and time very carefully. So look at your internal analytics, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, and select a time where usually you have really high conversion rates, specific day, specific time. And then also look at what's happening out there. If today is the Grammy Awards or it's the Super Bowl, it's probably not the right time to plan a live event. Tip number 3, notify participants. So one thing we like doing is to send a notification, like a SMS, 5 minutes before the live event, if you want to have a very good response rate. We see typically a 70% click-through rate on those notifications, which is huge. And then another tip is to publish a story on your social networks, a little bit like in a backstage mode, 5 minutes before the live event, to get people excited and get them to join the live session. Now, moving on to the actual live session. And the goal here is to boost the add to cart rate, get those customers to start adding products as they watch the show. So you have to drive engagement. The more you involve your audience in the experience, and the more impact you will have. This is actually the kind of the secret sauce of live shopping. It's about engaging with the audience. So what does that mean? It means the hosts must ask questions to viewers. What do you think about this and that? Tell me which color do you prefer? And thank people by quoting their name when they post a positive comment, and answer questions live.
And so, just so I'm understanding, this would mean the audience is, of course, typing text or chat into the messaging window where the video is occurring, and then there'll be sort of a moderator to engage and stimulate more discussion.
Right.
Okay.
And the live host, the host behind the camera, will be able to see some questions that the moderator can show via a teleprompter, for example, or a big iPad. So that makes sure there's this interaction between the host and the audience.
I think that's a great point. Make sure it's a conversation, not a one-way presentation. Definitely.
Exactly. Tip number 5, it's all about exclusivity. If you are going to show the same product that has been on your website for the last 2 months at the same price, putting it on a live shopping event, even if it's shown by a celebrity or an influencer, is not going to do anything. So you really need that exclusivity. The viewer expects a one-of-a-kind experience with expert advice and exclusives. So ideally, you present a new product in a pre-launch mode. You can't get it anywhere else except if you are in the live shopping session. Make sure you have an exclusive live shopping offer. Usually try to do it a little bit before the 20-minute mark. So maybe after 15 minutes, because this is when we see a drop off. You need to get people excited and have them add to cart by telling them, hey, we have this offer now, do it, before they leave the shopping session. And the offers can be a contest. It doesn't have to be a promo code. For example, we had a retailer, a fashion retailer, offering what they call golden tickets, and they would randomly put a $500 voucher in orders. They would put 5 in orders that were placed during the live shopping event. So it's a chance to win $500. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they actually showed on camera the 5 golden tickets. It was pretty cool. It got people very excited. Number six, we talked about it a little bit, but answer questions live. Make sure the product presentation is limited to 3 key arguments, and spend time answering live questions from the viewers as soon as the product presentation is over, so you can address any concern or potential friction in the journey. There was an example from a baker. It was a bakery company, and the chef was behind the camera presenting their holiday pastry. And someone in the audience sent a question saying, "Is this fish gelatin or pork gelatin?" And when the chef answered it's fish gelatin, we could see in the data the add to carts went up. There was a huge spike. So
Mm.
answering questions live is actually helping you add to cart and drive more revenue. So it's very important.
Yeah, almost like you should, of course, keep kind of like the FAQ for that product line in mind to make sure you're speaking to it, right? Identify any friction points in that product that you're demoing to address concerns or give reassurance to drive cart. That's great.
So we've talked about before the live, during the live. Now we're going to talk about what happens after the live and how do you optimize sales. So the tip here is to leverage replays. You want to publish a replay of the live session at the end of the live event to make sure customers who were late or missed the event are able to see everything that happened during the live event. And I was telling you this earlier, Terence, but 30% of the transactions actually come from that replay landing page when we looked at past live shopping sessions. You also want to reuse all that content in your product pages. So you can put those video replays on your product pages, for example, a specific question or when that specific product is mentioned or presented. Make sure it is also on that product page.
So this is great. We can actually take little snippets of what was covered in a live session and put it on that PDP to highlight that
Yes,
session.
exactly.
Cool.
And you can also leverage that content on social media. So you can reward the content and create little stories, so videos of 45 to 60 seconds. And then you can publish them on social networks to increase your reach and conversion. And maybe that story can be a specific question, like let's say it's a cosmetic brand. It could be, how does this product work for dry skin? And then you can show the answer live via that story. And yeah, a few just to end, a few high level metrics. Actually, this is from that chef I was talking about that make delicious pastries. They saw a 28% conversion rate during the live event. So, most retailers are happy if they see a 3% conversion rate. So this is huge. I haven't seen that type of conversion rate for a long time. I think the only other time I saw that is with live chat. 26% of their December sales were made in one evening from that live event. And they had a little bit more than 6,000 viewers.
Yeah, no, this is very helpful. Thank you, Sylvain. Of course, live shopping, the wave is here. It's very exciting. We see that a lot of brands and retailers are talking about it, but the main struggle is, what do we begin to look at to educate ourselves or to actually deploy the first live shopping instance? Everyone, we're of course on standby now to take any questions or comments you might have. We did try to answer a few of them throughout, but let's take a look at possible inbound questions now, Sylvain, to see what we can do.